Last week I decided to try out the best aim training methods so I could achieve incredible aim, carry my team, and finally reach diamond. In this video I will show you all the training routines and methods that I used and if any of these are worth doing. Now, the first software that everybody recommended to use was Aim Labs. It's that kind of software that nerds spend thousands of hours shooting balls and bragging online about them being in the top 100 rank on some random tracking mode. So I got the app, installed it, adjusted my settings to perfectly match my Marvel rival settings, and then chose the aim routine crafted by the dudes from Aim Lab. Jumped into it, shot some balls, and did a bunch of tracking, which is by far one of the most annoying things that I had to experience in my life. Marvel Rivals is a game where you need to track heroes at a high pace if you really want to master aiming as a DPS hero. Simply put, people just like to move a lot. So if you play Hela or like Hawkeye and you can't track for shit, most likely you will be flamed by the entire team and also by the enemy team on how bad you are. So that's what this routine kind of forced me to do. Track things and track them a lot. You do the routine, it takes like 20 to 30 minutes to finish all of it, and afterwards you're supposed to jump into the game and see the magic results, how everything moves and how you feel. And that's what I did for the next 7 days. And not just in Aim Lab, but also in Kovacs, which by the super mega nerds is considered the best version for an aim trainer that lets you have a lot of customization to the scenarios, better input, and overall feeling that can transition easily from game to game. Long story short, it's kinda the same stuff as Aim Lab, but just with a worse user interface and some say with better aim feeling. To be honest, I didn't feel any difference. But anyway, those were the tools that I used. So, I did the routines, queued for rank, insta-locked my Star-Lord, because that's who I am now. Star-Lord is a heavy tracking hero. If you wanna really make the most out of this hero's movement, you have to move a lot, perfectly shoot the enemy hero, delete him out of the map, get away, and come back to do it all together. So in theory, the tracking that I did prior should help me out a lot. So I was kinda hyped, kinda skeptical about the result. The first game started and I began doing my lurking, my tracking and shooting and running away. Things looked decent. I was getting kills, but now I was faced with the next problem that no aiming routine could prepare you for. A bad team that can't play if their life depends on it. So I had to switch to Storm, still a DPS hero where you need to not only have good aim but also guess the enemy hero's movement. But again, that was short-lived because, you can't really buff the whole team and help them if everybody goes everywhere and they die one by one. So back to Star-Lord it was. And this is where I decided to go fully try-hard mode and take matter into my own hands. I've won, then queued again, played a lot of other games where I switched between Storm, Star-Lord and any other DPS hero that might help me rank up faster and utilize my new learning skills. At this point I've been training my aim in parallel for a while, getting into Kovacs Aim Lab and doing a bunch of scenarios that were advertised by the game and other creators as making you an aiming machine. Every day looked like this. Aim training for 30 minutes followed by like 1 to 2 hours of competitive because I have a real job so I couldn't play more. So that's that. Now in that time period I was getting good results as my tracker profile showed. I was in the top 0.8% of people and had a 72% win rate, which looked good. It was just a matter of time before I could get to diamond by carrying my team. So in my mind at this point I was thinking, is that aim training routine actually helping me or is it just a placebo effect? Am I more confident and do I decide to take more duels because I think my aim is better when in reality it's the same? That was the next question and to be honest it was a really good question. How do you know if you're actually improving because stats don't tell the full picture in this game? You can have 67 kills and still lose the game like this match showed perfectly. Aiming is an important factor for a DPS player, but did I really win games just purely out of my aim training routine? Well, I think the answer to that question came in pretty fast. I kept on spamming Storm and Star-Lord and things were looking good. I got to Plat 1 super fast, carrying almost every game and having the most damage dealt across both teams. But soon that was about to change. You see, the more you rank up, in theory, the better players you should get. Well, it seems like the game decided the opposite for me. The more I ranked up, the more incompetent teammates I found. Teammates where I didn't matter that I killed 5 people alone. Somehow, in return, they decided to kill themselves or just push the most stupid spot in order to balance the scale. So there I was faced with a dilemma. You see, the whole goal of this challenge was to see if I can carry with my aim alone and never go away from that. To make my aim so good that there is nothing that the enemy team can do about it. Well, in one game that changed. I took Hela and jumped into the game and right off the bat I could see the difference in skill from team to team. My healers were getting stomped, my tank didn't know how to position himself, and sooner or later I found myself alone most of the time trying to keep the enemy team away from pushing, but to no avail. They managed to quickly push through all checkpoints. It was 3-0, so I decided to take a decision that I had never taken in my life. I decided to play Vanguard because my goal was to rank up. That was the main goal, and in my eyes it felt like my aim was not enough, so I locked in Magneto. Now Magneto is still a hero where you need some kind of aim, not as intensive as Hawkeye or Hela, but you still need good aim. And things started to change, we pushed through all objectives, playing a hero that I only played against bots, and we were winning. We balanced the scale. It was 3-3 now, so things looked good. Well, until my team decided to throw the game in the last second and we lost. But I learned something in that exact moment. The more you rank up, the more adaptable you have to be. You see, I come from Valorant, where you can carry the team with any role if you have good aim. Well, that was not the case in this game. All that aim training helped me, yes. But there were some games where no amount of aim could help me win, and that's where you have to adjust. Change heroes, positions, and tactics. And that's what I decided to do from that point on. I will always start the game as a DPS, but if needed I will switch, and funny enough that's the exact thing that helped me rank up faster and faster. I got to Plat 1 super fast by starting the game with Storm and then switching to Magneto if something was needed. Sooner than later there it was, Diamond. I hit it with 5 wins in a row in games where we barely won in overtime, where you had to put away your ego and all that aim training you did to pick a Vanguard or a different DPS hero that also helps your team and not just your KDA. You see, aim training is important, but in this game, if you wanna win a lot and win fast, get heroes that complement and help your team out. Heroes like Storm, compared to Hela, are still DPS heroes but also buff the whole team, and they're 10 times more useful as a whole than just one super good Hela that can snipe the whole enemy team. Even if you're put in a team with Mongoloids, you still have some buffed Mongoloids, and if you can switch a role, even better. So, are aim training routines good, and should you waste your time doing them? Well, it depends. If you're a super new player that never played shooters in your life, yes, 100%. If you're experienced already and have played a bunch, it's a waste of time. Just get into practice range, set these settings for your range, and train your aim here in-game. No need to waste time in other software, and the best advice, just play the game more. You get better at the game by playing the game more, I know, crazy. And now if you enjoyed this video, check out this next video, and until next time,
Arrivederci.